Alright guys, this is just a tool review on a tool that I actually got for Father's Day. It was bought for me for renovating around the house and all that sort of stuff, but I've since actually found that it's really good for my Terminator stuff. In particular, this is the kit that it basically comes with. There's two different types of cutting wheels, like that. There's a scraper, which you get off glue and all that sort of stuff with, and then there's a sanding attachment, which is a Velcro back sanding attachment you put different sorts of discs on. The one I want to talk to mostly about in terms of the Terminator one and stuff is you guys have sort of asked me before how I managed to get the straight lines, and I did a video review on the Dremel cutting tool that I was using for that, and as good as that is, I've since found that this thing is just fantastic for it. The reason why I selected a piece of aluminium bar here, I picked this because it's literally of the difficulty that I thought would be involved in actually doing it. So my thoughts was if I could cut a line on that, I could pretty much cut a line on anything, and it gets those nice sharp corners in, and it gets the really nice straight lines with, you know, very little effort involved, and not a great deal of skill involved in doing it in comparison to the Dremel, which can jump and sort of shake around. You can see, you know, again, as good as I've managed to get that line there, it's nowhere near as good as the one I'm about to demonstrate. So I'll just show you really quickly how that works. Okay, what I'm going to do is just run a straight pencil line. Okay, and then I'm going to see if I can actually follow that with this new tool. Cut back in. There it is. So it's a nice straight line, and then the L-shaped cut, which is indicative of a lot of the bits on the Terminator stuff. Okay. Okay, so there we go, guys. I don't think I've ever been able to get a line as straight and as fine as that, and that's just a very quick hit on the polishing buff. If we compare that line to one of the lines I've got on that other piece I've done, you can see how much finer it is and how nice and sharp that angle is. Again, if you compare the angles in here, you can see it's a very clean angle by comparison. I'm still quite happy with this, but there's certainly some other pieces that I'll be working on from now on with this new machine. Anyway, thanks very much. Hopefully I'll get onto some new parts shortly. Now, the reason why this works so well is because these discs, or this half moon, whatever you want to call it, they're not a rotating wheel, it's an oscillating wheel. So it's a little bit more like an orbital sander in that it sort of vibrates. In here what you've basically got is a thing that oscillates the blade backwards and forwards very quickly. It has a variable speed, so you can make it faster or slower depending on the type of cut that you want to get. And because of that oscillation, it's also very safe. I'll give you an example of what I mean. So that oscillation means that you can bump the blade or your arm or whatever, and unless you're pushing really hard, it's not going to cut into you. Alright, this also is excellent for the polystone stuff. It cuts a lot faster into the polystone stuff, so you have to be a little bit more careful, but it'd be really good for cutting in those fine line details or separating pieces on a really unusual angle. Like if you were on an angle like that, I could literally cut that off at bench level, which is the sort of thing you couldn't do with a regular tool. Okay, that's it. This is an Ozito brand, cost about $90, comes with those sort of accessories, and if it's something you're looking at doing in terms of doing Dremel work, I'd highly recommend it. It's not very heavy, and it does actually have a screw on a handle for the larger attachments, but I find using it like that it's quite manageable in terms of size. There's also very easy to actually brace against and bring your job to it if you wanted to. But that's it. There are more expensive ones on the market, but hey, look, this works great. Thanks, guys.